Stitches here. Welcome to my channel where together we sew. If you're brand new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell for notifications. You'll know every time I post up a video like this one or when I go live. I love doing the sew alongs with y'all, so hope you come on back every Saturday live at 5 and we'll sew something together. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for being here. I love seeing you guys and all your encouraging comments down below. It really keeps me going. So today is the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Simply Spring week 3 sew along. This one was a quick one. I feel like we're missing something. There's more to do, but there's really not. We finished all of our blocks in the first 2 weeks, and this week is just the final put together. So up on their website now, which I'll link down below, you can grab the finishing instructions. This is what they look like. And we're just going to get this all sewn together and have our top done. And then, you know, post it up on their Facebook group, which if you're not part of their Facebook group yet, I'll link that down below as well, so we can see your progress and see what you do with this, how you quilt it and all that stuff. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how the whole top comes out. It's a quick and easy quilt, so I think this is going to go together quick and easy, so it shouldn't take us too long. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've got my instructions printed out in front of me. I'll show you those here. And the first thing that we're going to need to do is make these sashing strips. Now they're calling it row 2 and row 4. So we're going to make row 2 and row 4 first. And then we're going to just lay our blocks that we made, the whirligig blocks and the 4 patches, out in rows. Now pay close attention to the diagram. There are 2 whirligig blocks that have the light green centers, 2 that have the light pink centers, and the one that has the white center. The white center is going to be the very center of your quilt top. And then the 4 patches are all the same, but they're oriented a little bit differently depending on where you put them in the quilt. Now these are probably just, you know, the way they laid it out. I'm going to follow their instructions, but if you like your colors in a different spot, move them around. That's fine. Or if you like the way you don't like the way that they put their colors as far as the chain blocks or the 4 patch, you can switch those around too. I like it just the way they did it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. But I'm going to start with making that sashing strips, and then I'm going to put my blocks together in rows before I start sewing those. So this is my first row. The first row is the pink, and then this blue is going to be in the top left corner for this row, and then the last piece in this one is the green. So I'm going to set that up here, and we'll sew those together in a minute after we do these sashing strips. So you need 2 of the purple and 3 of the sashing strips to make the sashing row, and then these are going to go with row number 1. So I'm going to put those up there. So let's get these together. We're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance on these. And then iron them. And add this one to the purple. Add this one to the purple. Now you're going to make 2 of these rows. Again, this is for row 2 and row 4. I've already made one of them. But as you can see, quick and easy. Give it press. Okay. Now it does say press seams as preferred, so I'm pressing these to the left because I'm going to press the row that we're going to make to the right so they all nest really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside for a minute, and I'm going to grab the fabrics for the top row, for row number 1. So that one starts off with, according to the diagram, the pink center. So I'm going to add a sashing strip to the right hand side of this block. And my machine came unthreaded. Oops. There we go. Now I'm going to add it. You can pin these if you like. I'm not, just to save time. There's nothing to match up. So I feel like you don't really need to pin them. Now I'm going to finger press this in the direction I want it to go. Give it a quick little press. And then add the next block, which will be the 4 patch. Now make sure you have the 4 patch going the right way. I'm looking at it and it's the blues in the upper left hand corner. I know it's opposite for you guys looking in the video, but okay. Alright, I'm just going to give that a finger press. Alright, adding the next sashing strip. This one's got a little bit of a, must have been where the strip was folded in half. Okay. And give that a finger press as well. Pressing that. Okay. And then I'm going to add the last block. Now some of these have flowers on them. You can see the stems and they're going like down. Some of, like this one, it didn't really matter, but my OCD brain needs it to go down. So I was making sure. Because it can't have a flower stem pointing towards the sky, you know. And this is row number 1. So as you can see, it goes together pretty quick and easy. Now you're going to do the same process for row 3 and row 5. And row 2 and 4 again are those sashing strips. So we're going to go ahead and add this sashing piece to the bottom of row 1. And you're also going to put this in between row 3 and row 5. So when you do row 3, which will be after this piece, then you're going to put another sashing strip and then do row 5, which is your last row of blocks. I'm going to do this row just a little bit slower so I can make sure I nest these seams right where those little pops of color are in the sashing strip. Make sure that's lined up really good there. Good job, Pour with Fabricio, for picking out this little purple color to go with the rest of this. It just makes it all work together. It's perfect. You could pin these, you wouldn't have to stop as much like I am to line up your seams or nest your seams. I'm just not very much a fan of pinning, but go for it if you would like. So that's done. So I'm just going to finger press this. And give it a press. Oh, those purple cornerstones, they're just perfect. Perfect little pop of color we needed in this. Okay, so now, put my iron aside for a minute. I'm going to grab, I already put my other two rows together with the sashing piece. And so we're going to add the top row. So row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to add this top row to the rest here. And this might be a good place to pin if you like to pin. I'm just going a little slower than normal. Making sure that these are all nested up. And there we are. So I'm just going to press this, and now we can move on to putting on the borders. Bring my ironing board back up here. Oh, this is looking really pretty. Just love these little purple cornerstones. I feel like they're bringing the whole top together. Very nice. Okay, so now we're going to add the side inner, this left and right side and the top and bottom inner border, which is just your white strips. So I've got my pile of white strips right here. Grab these. And you're going to add these to the top and bottom, or I'm sorry, the left and right first, and then the top and bottom. Now, this is a case of do as I say, not as I do, because I jumped the gun a little bit and I put one on the bottom and I didn't slow down to read the instructions, so this is my fault, but make sure you're following the directions and do it as Fort Worth Fabric Studio asked you to, because that's the way you're supposed to. I was a naughty girl and went too fast and didn't listen to instructions. So you can cut these to length ahead of time if you want to, or you can sew them on and trim them off, which is what I'm going to do. I just cut the selvage edge off of the end. So, like I said, do as I say and not as I do. Do it to the left and right first, and then the top and the bottom. Now, because I put the one on the bottom first, I'm going to put it on the top next, and then I'll move to the left and right. Excuse me. on, so now I'm going to trim this excess off and then move to the other two sides. I'm going to get those on and then we'll come back and do the outer border. Okay, I've got all of my inner borders on, and this is the fabric for the outer borders. Really, really pretty. So I did my left and my right borders, and I did them correctly this time. Do the left and the right first, and then we're going to do the top and the bottom, and then it's all done. So this quilt went together so quick and easy. I feel like if you wanted to make it again, that you could make it in just a couple hours after everything's cut up. I could see making this for a baby, if you have a last minute baby shower to go to. I think it's a perfect size for that. Now, it is a table topper, but I don't put things on tables in my house because I've got a whole bunch of kiddos and they make a mess. So my husband has been saying for a while that there's a spot on the wall in our bedroom that needs a wall hanging or some picture or something. So I think I'm going to hang this in my bedroom. It's going to give us a nice little pop of color, and I can leave it there for the rest of the summer and then replace it with something fallish, a fallish wall hanging, when we get to the end of September. But I really like the idea of hanging this on the wall and bringing some color into our bedroom. Now, these are fabrics that I never would have picked myself, so I'm really grateful that Fort Worth Fabric Studio picked these. These are fabrics that if I would go into a fabric store, I would love them for the colors, but I wouldn't know what to do with them because of the pattern. So I'm glad that they chose these, because they're out of my comfort zone, but still beautiful and something that I'd like to do something with and wouldn't know what to do with it. So this has been a fun sew along for me for that standpoint. Now when I do my borders, I always backstitch my borders. Just so when it gets quilted, they don't pull apart. So I always recommend that to people. Just going to trim off the excess here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my iron over here and give this a press. Oh, so pretty. Okay, all done. Turn my iron off. and unplug it so I don't forget later. Set that aside. And I'm going to get this on the wall behind me so we can take a peek at the whole thing. Okay, so here's the whole quilt all done. I love the way it came out. These are such beautiful fabrics. Things, like I said in my other videos and previously I think in this video, that I never would have picked for myself, but I think they're absolutely beautiful. So I'm super happy that I was asked to do this. Thank you again so much, Fort Worth Fabric Studio, Jody over there at Fort Worth Fabric Studio, for continuing to choose me to make these tutorials for you, and the whole team for getting all these kits cut and out to everybody. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you all sewing along with me. This was a great fun sew along. I'll do a follow-up video when I quilt this. I'm not going to be able to quilt it in the next day or so. I've got a lot going on. But eventually I'll get to it, and when I do, I'll make a video and I'll get it up there. But it's gorgeous, and I've already got a pattern in mind, and I'm real excited to get it all done and bound, because the binding is more of that purple color that the cornerstones, and I just think that that color pulls everything together. So I can't wait to finish this. So I hope you enjoyed this and the sew along, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!